Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am here with my friend Anna. I would start to say good friend Anna, who is going to share some of her story with us about her journey as a mom, raising a child with extra needs, and how she stays healthy as a mom. And I'm really excited to start this series here in our group. And we're going to be coming on regularly, hopefully once a week on Wednesdays, with a story of another mom who is figuring this out right alongside with you. And some of us, we're a few steps ahead of where you might be right now on your journey, trying to figure out how to, exercise regularly or eat better or sleep better or manage stress better, whatever this journey looks like for you. And I really believe that we can't model what we don't see, right? And seeing examples of other moms that are doing this and what it actually looks like for them, I think is one of the greatest gifts that I can give you guys here in the group to help you move forward in your journey. And we were just talking about this before we came on live. Like, unfortunately, a lot of what we see when we go online and, get on Instagram or go on YouTube and look for inspiration for workouts and nutrition is just completely unrealistic for us, and often focusing on things that maybe shouldn't be at the forefront of our mind as special needs moms. Like we don't want to all just like get ripped and lean. And so my hope is to provide some really great inspiration. So without further ado, let me introduce Anna. Anna, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and what your mom life looks like, and what your day-to-day is. Who are you?
Oh, yes. Good question. So I'm Anna. I actually do have a background in fitness, and Megan will probably speak to that a little bit. And I'll share how that's just a part of my story. I am primarily a stay-at-home mom to 3 kiddos. I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and my 3.5-year-old has Down syndrome. And I am the wife to an airline pilot, which is partly why I am home. It is kind of a wild schedule, and I do call myself a solo parent because I solo parent about half the month, and my husband is not home. So he's actually gone. I know even friends of mine, they'll say, but he's home at night. I'm like, nope, he's not home at night. So I single parent 4 to 5 days, solo parent 4 to 5 days out of the week, which is a huge challenge to fitness. I can't pop out for a run just whenever I want, or pop out to the gym. We live in a small rural community east of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we're in Wisconsin. And we, since COVID, have not had a fitness center in our area that offers childcare. So that's presented just a huge challenge in the last few years. I would say for a number of years, there was a convenience in being able to take my kids. So the biggest struggle was just getting there. And so I've needed to become very creative with how I get in my workouts. And I feel like motherhood has taught me that, to be creative. And I'm constantly
homeschool also. I just want to interrupt you, right? You do homeschool.
Yes, thank
as well. I think this is another important one, because I want moms that are watching this right now to be able to identify with you, right? Like whether they're a single mom or they have an unsupportive or unhelpful spouse, stay-at-home mom, like homeschool, like you are in the trenches. Like, you guys leave a comment here if any of you, like, just say, yep, me too.
Yes, we are a homeschooling family, and that's new. So this is our 2nd year of homeschooling, and even this week I was like, oh my goodness, as Megan was asking me to come on, I just want to say I'm in the trenches. If you feel like it's a battle to get your workout in, what I used to picture a stay-at-home mom having was tons of time, and I have highly engaged kids who highly engaged. So if I'm exercising, they are with me. But some commitments that I gave myself when I became a stay-at-home mom that have helped me. So I think commitments are great to make to yourself. And one of my commitments was that I would move every day. And even if I didn't feel like it, I would start with 20 minutes. And that's where I feel like Megan's Boost program just speaks to my heart too, because 20 minutes is pretty easy to find, to battle to find, I'll say. So you still need to just start, but those were two of my big commitments. And that I would never go more than 2 days without an intentional workout. So where I'm saying, okay, I'm going to raise my heart rate, I'm going to do something like a cardio boost workout or something very intentional. So never more than 2 days. And those were three big commitments that I made 10 years ago to myself. And aside from um, postpartum recovery or injury, I've been able to honor those commitments, and those have been really helpful. And they also gave me a identity. So I am someone, so I think this is a powerful word to give yourself. I am someone who commits to exercising or moving for 20 minutes every day. And that positive language for myself really impacted my commitment. And it wasn't just a commitment for a commitment. I think anyone who is struggling or in the trenches, what happens when you move your body. Your brain feels better, you feel sharper. Motherhood is very stimulating. That's been, I think, the most shocking thing for me. So I didn't become, my first child was born when I was 30. So I had a number of years where I had like the luxe exercise life. I could go to the gym Saturdays were like long days, 2 hours, sit in the hot tub. Yeah, that hasn't happened in 10 years.
And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because like sometimes, because that's all we've ever known, that's the expectation that we have of ourselves, right? If I'm doing this, if I'm improving my fitness, if I'm exercising, that's what it's going to look like. And it feels unattainable because it is unattainable, right? But if you've never done anything else, and that's just the way you've always done that, or you go on Instagram and you see everybody posting, their hour-long workout that you have to do if you're going to get results, then it feels like, well, okay, can't do that. And we just end up getting frazzled and discouraged. And so I appreciate that you brought that up, that is where you were and you had to kind of pivot.
That all or nothing mentality, I think, is really hard, because there definitely are seasons where I will feel like, what's the point? I don't have an hour. But going back to that commitment of, I will move every day because I know it helps my brain, it helps my mental health. Just to dive personally into my history, my mom modeled fitness very well in her 20s and early 30s, and had a major mental health crisis in her mid 30s, and really stopped exercising regularly. And I think, like, learning from that too, exercise for me so helps to soothe my mind and helps me to come back to my kids as a more calm and patient parent. And now I see the fruit of 10 years of this, because my older kids are emulating. They want to come with me now when I run. They want to bike. They want to do active things. They want to do the strength training with me. So it's really become just a real sweet thing now to start to see the fruit of those little commitments. So my other little piece of like advice is, think long term, instead of, maybe I've got 10 pounds to lose. I feel like I'll always have 10 pounds to lose. But if I always think about that, that does not encourage me to move. But if I think, okay, I'm 40 this year, at 50, I want to still be able to be backpacking and hiking and running around in the yard with my kids, and not being the parent on the sidelines on my phone. When I think of that moves me today. So
yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. And there's a couple nuggets that I think you just laid out there, is like, this has become part of your family culture, right? And it's hard, like any of you that are here with young kids, you can appreciate if you are like us and you have to do workouts at home because of time or because of childcare or whatever. When you got young kids and you're trying to like get down on the floor and exercise, and they're curling on you and they're like in the way, it can feel really frustrating. And I get messages from moms all the time, like, what's the point? Like, I'm interrupted all the time. And like, yes, I get that. And that's frustrating. But, it's very cool that they can see you and be a part of that and understand that this is just something that we do, right? What our family does. This is how we live. This is how we take care of our body and our mind. And as they get older, then it's not anything that we have to ask them like, hey, you need to go exercise now. It's just what you do. It's the culture of your family. And I love that so much. That's really powerful.
Yeah, brushing your teeth. We talk about that. Like this is what we do. Yeah, we brush our teeth. The other thing I've tried to just like as like a mothering thing, exercise is not about me being selfish. So I know how people are like, you need to be selfish sometimes and exercise. And when I think of it as, no, this is not selfish and they can join me, but I'm still going to do it. And they might need to find something else to do for a little bit. Oh yeah, I have some like crazy stories of being interrupted 20 times. Just last week, my son was repairing a bike, and I'm like, why do I need to keep helping you with your bike? I'm just trying to do a 20-minute lifting workout.
Well, and I have something to say about that too. Like it's good to role model boundaries as well. As moms, it's so easy for us to never have boundaries with our kids and never say no to them because we don't want to disappoint them or we don't want to break their heart. But part of my story is very much that, like learning to actually tell my kids, no, mommy needs to do this right now. This is very important to me and I love you and I'm going to be with you to help you. But right now you need to wait. And it felt wrong when I first did that. But then when I explored it and I realized, they need to understand that it's okay to tell somebody else, no, please wait when you are trying to do something that you need to do. Otherwise, we're showing them that it's not okay to set boundaries and set aside time for yourself, that you should always be at somebody else's beck and call. And it's unhealthy, right? It's
totally unhealthy. I mean, I see their creative play just grow as I do that, have that boundary. You need to, I mean, there's so much research that says kids who are bored or forced to self-entertain, what that does for their brains and their bodies. And so, yeah, looking at it as this is also so healthy for them to take the time to do it. But yeah,
when it's 20 minutes, you don't have to feel so bad about it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, it's like, you're going to be fine. And then I'm going to be right with you. So it's not like you're just an absent parent, but it's, this is my time. This is something that I need to do. Yeah, totally. Love it.
Something new this past year. I have exercised mostly outside, which has helped because then my kids can just play outside while I'm out there. And with my 3.5-year-old, he's been kind of a runner. And so I plant myself right in our front yard. And so I can watch him and I don't have to worry about him running on the road. But yeah, just recently I was like, how long have I been working out in my front yard? And why am I in my front yard? I'm like, oh yeah, I started working out in my front yard because I've got a runner. And I keep my gym set up outside, all my gear. And my husband was actually just a month ago, he's like, he kept moving my weights into the garage. And I said, no, leave them in the yard. It's on purpose. So when I go out, I see them and I do it. And the kids are playing and I just start. And
that's a great tip. I love that. I never would have thought of that. I'll do stretches. Like I'll do yoga outside if they're playing. I'll just kind of like do some of my yoga stretches, but I never thought about putting weights out there. Good tip.
My TRX stays hanging from the tree and I'm just out there. So
your neighbors are like, wow, she's crazy.
I'm gonna move while I talk to you just because I've got kids biking home from the neighbors from piano lessons. This is real life.
That's all good. Mom life. We're cool. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up right about now. But I'll just ask you one last question. So like, I know there's some moms in the group that are kind of struggling with the idea of getting started. And you mentioned, I made that commitment to do this every day. And I think that's a really good place to start. Instead of like committing to a goal of, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or I'm going to like get to this place, actually setting an action like a habit-based goal,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm going to exercise every day or whatever it was that you said. So when you think about like somebody getting started and making that jump from I'm doing nothing to, I'm going to start to introduce that. What do you think is like, do you have any advice or something that was helpful for you when you first took that step to say, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, so I think, so hearing from where I came from, which was having tons of time every day, working in a gym, exercising for my job, you can see my goals were very low. So I'm going to move every day. I'm going to do at least 20 minutes. And so my biggest advice is that it's very attainable, because you will have that satisfaction of being successful, which brings on more success. So
Yeah.
um yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so interesting, because I have some things I'm working on right now, other habits that have just been more challenging, that I'm just reevaluating. And so I think if you've had a goal for a long time and you're not attaining it, it's too hard for your life right now. And so the goal needs something's not wrong with you. You are investing energy elsewhere,
Mhm.
and that's probably where your energy needs to be. But um we still do need to take care of our bodies and our health, and that's for the long run. And so yeah, making it as attainable as possible. So it might be as simple as, I have a friend, she just told me, she actually used to work with me, and she's really struggled the last 10 years with fitness. And she said, I've just started over my lunch break. She's working from home, walking to my mailbox 3 or 4 times.
Mhm.
And okay, what happens when you do that? It just snowballs to a new habit the next week, but just start. Don't overthink it. I say that a lot to
Mhm.
friends. Don't overthink it. Do something really little, and enjoy the success from that and what that does for your mind. So
Yep.
mom, the mom break. I'll do that quite a bit with my kids, even outside of my workout. Like, hey, I'm going to take just a mom brain break, and I walk around my yard.
Yep.
And
I
and
love
and so
it.
that's my advice. If you're
Yeah.
not meeting your goal, something's not wrong with you, something's wrong with your goal.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, if you can think of that, I mean, you're and erasing like the negative language about yourself, I think is really, really important. Um, I used to identify myself as a messy person. And if you call yourself a messy person, you will really never be tidy. But I switched the language on it. I was like, I actually really like having a tidy house.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you know? 10 years later, my husband is actually annoyed because he wants me to loosen up a little bit on my tidying. And so
Yeah.
speaking your language from someone who just saying, I enjoy moving my body, or even I want to move my body. That
Yeah.
positive language, that I know you talk about a lot too. It just,
Yeah,
it
that's like our
changes.
tagline in the Boost program is like, I am 20 minutes away from better energy and a good mood, right?
Yes.
Because so often when we think about starting a workout, it feels like a hard thing. It feels like work. It feels, and we focus on maybe the negative things, but if we
Mhm,
can focus on where you're going to be in 20 minutes
mhm.
after you do the thing, instead of like getting through the thing, but the outcome is instant, right? You're in a better mood, you feel better, you have better energy. And I love
And you're
that.
more
Just
productive for the rest of your day. Yeah. Yeah. You're just totally more productive. I've heard homeschool moms, um, say, yeah, there's not time in the day for exercise. And I think, that was something that in the last couple of years, I'm like, well, no, I think there's a way that we can be creative while my kids are playing outside. If that's a family value, then I can run around and do my thing while they do their thing. So, um,
definitely, definitely.
yeah.
This
So,
is
and I
where,
mean, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, this is where coaching comes in, and why I believe so much in this, and why I know that you've loved working with people, is helping people to work through that stuff mentally. Because I don't think of it as excuses. It's just
No.
roadblocks that we have. It's not excuses. It's not that you can't do it. It's not that you're
Right.
lazy or not motivated. It's
No.
just often we have these roadblocks. And so having somebody
Mhm.
in the ring with you to help you kind of figure out, how do I how do I make this work is so valuable. And this is what I do, this is what I do is I help moms through this and help moms figure out how do you make this work. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about this and want some support with that, just shoot me a message if we haven't started a conversation yet, or if we're having a conversation and we haven't gotten here yet, like talk with me about it, because sometimes figuring it out with the help of somebody else is all the difference for actually getting you going. So that's amazing. Well, Anna, thanks for taking your time this morning to come in and chat with me and share your story with these moms. And Anna has been kind of in the background, kind of helping me with some of the workouts. And it's just been a pleasure to work with her. And hopefully you guys will see a little bit more of her. She's trying to make it to the retreat. I know some of you posted yesterday that you're going to be at the DSDN retreat. We're trying to get her in there. So she might be at the table with me if you want to come meet her, and hopefully we'll see some more of her as she comes in and that starts to help out with what we're doing here. So thanks again.
Can I add one more thought? More thought?
Go for it.
Yeah, I think the power of the Boost program and what's happening here is community too. And that was something I wanted to mention. Like, I'm not just out here like rogue doing my workouts. I mean, part of this has been like a habit of my life, which has been really helpful. But without other people in my life cheering me on, supporting me in it, it wouldn't be happening like it is. So like you mentioned, healthy role models, I'd consider you, very much one of those, because you're showing it is hard, and you're also exercising and taking care of yourself for the right reasons. So I just want to encourage people with that too. Like, that is the power of the Boost program and this program too, is being in it with other people and knowing other women just like you are fighting to do this, and they're making it happen. They're being creative, and we're here to help each other be creative and not to compete on it. Or I hope none of that came out in my story. I want to just say I'm in the trenches with you. So
100%. Yep. Absolutely. Get around the people that surround yourself with people that are doing the things that you want to do and heading in the direction that you want to, because it just takes all that resistance out, and it's easier to follow on that path. So yes, the power of community. And we're here in this group. We also have, the moms that are doing the Boost workouts and supporting each other in community there. If you're looking for more community and people, we can definitely chat about that. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you so much, Megan, for having me.
Yeah, we'll keep going. I hope to see you this weekend. I hope it all works out, and enjoy the rest of your day with your fam.
Thanks so much, Megan. You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.